play Moira here instead of the Zenyatta. So that'll be a hack that comes right away onto Ursa, so you don't have that big burst heal to heal on Popo, and he gets taken out right away.
You're exactly right, Matt. They needed that burst heal, but it was burst damage. It ended up claiming Popo as Gamsu finished him off with the Fire Strike.
See Ding on the side, just kind of pestering. Maybe it takes him out, so they didn't have that translocator available. It'll be an Earth Shadow, though, from Gamsu that comes out. He's not able to survive, but Atlanta may be able to flip this.
Somehow, Darker gonna go down now. DM putting a lot of damage on this side, but Baby also in position and charged up. The coalescence from Dogman was timely indeed at Platinum, and he is splitting their attention somewhat, but he himself might be in the Den of Thieves. It's a 4-man EMP onto the Atlanta Reign, though, and Baby and Darko are feeling it now. Sound barrier had to be applied by Massa, so at least his team would have a chance of fighting it. Popo comes through! He pushed out of that small corridor where the hammer is most effective. Getting 2 supports and a right heart ain't a bad day's work. Now they're able to stave off the rest of the Dragons, who are a little bit disparate as they approach the point. Rudovsky and Gamsu going down. Dogman with that extra healing there. The grab doesn't seem to bother the Reign too much, but that's an EMP. This might be the icing on the cake. It was Popo and Ursta caught by that. So they just drop to the low ground and out of line of sight, and they stay around to fight. Now DM getting sandwiched here. Darko getting so much attention towards him. They're able to take the point and hold Atlanta.
Yeah, when Ding comes in, uses the EMP because Dogman is playing the Moira in that position instead of Zenyatta.
Just of the Atlanta Reign setup here. Find a couple players, or at least inflict enough damage that just the repair pack won't be enough to fix it. And they found Baby doing just that. You can see that Popo doesn't want to be in that position at all. He's still going to fight forward and try and get rid of Yongji, but DM now close to a pulse bomb in his first fight. That's 1 kill. He might be looking for more now. Forced to back up, but Dogman catches him. Will go over the edge, though. Gamsu on the wrecking ball will get that environmental kill.
It is Atlanta, though, who takes the point first.
To weave in and out of the massive Atlanta players, and Youngjin, you know what he's looking for here. A nice big rocket punch to ideally send him off, but it's an Earth Shatter. Popo at least able to connect with that one. Ding on the high ground, and bear in mind, Atlanta still control the point here. They have a couple players on there, and they're quite hard to catch. It's Massa and Dogman making themselves scarce, getting some extra percentage.
They're going to get very close to taking the point here.
Gamsu getting it. And that's an ideal minefield. He was kind of knocked down to the way of where he wanted to put it there, and he's going low. He needs to be careful. Darko going to send a self-destruct into the point here. That's onto the high ground, but the Reign might have found a way to fight back in without the D.Va ultimate. Ding and Youngjin had gone down. Ursta was actually able to find the kill there, despite Coma still being present. The pocket wasn't enough in Atlanta. Hang on.
You're not really close to any ultimates.
Just switching for the last fight, it's never ideal. Baby comes over the top. He had an EMP though when it connects with 5. Find a grenade onto DM and Youngjin, which is going to make life even harder for Luffy and Coma to try and keep those players up. And that bionic grenade from Luffy, well, it's not going to be forthcoming because he was hacked away from being able to use it. The Atlanta Reign in the last moments have been able to come up with the answer here to Shanghai's multiple strange compositions, and they will look to take themselves this match. Gamsu drops onto the point here, and the wrecking ball will be hacked and dealt with rather quickly. And that shall be it. The Atlanta Reign look very good, and they make some very clever switches to deal with that Shanghai composition.
Perfect changes from the Atlanta Reign on that map. Baby going over, playing Sombra. You got Popo on the Winston. This one, it's rough. I mean, everybody's abilities just work so well with each other and so necessary. Dogman drops right away there in the hands of Luffy. It's going to be a nano boost, a hack there on the Popo as he's taken out rather quickly. So things falling apart here for Atlanta.
Yeah, not ideal. Popo dying with Primal Rage there, and the rest of the Atlanta Reign are left to try and pick up the pieces, but they are scattered to the 4 winds by the looks of things. Dig low. Oh, Baby catches him. Nicely done.
He's going to grab this.
Follow up. Yeah. That's it. It's an interesting decision, but
Gamsu at the beginning to take it. Oh, and you lose Popo early. This is not good for the Atlanta Reign.
First Dogman, now it's Popo dropping early. Luffy finding these important first picks, and the Atlanta Reign are scrabbling. They're trying to keep a foothold on this point. It's Dogman with the Transcendence front and center. Massa off towards the side, no longer benefiting from that Zenyatta healing. He could be in trouble, and he's taken down awfully fast, despite the fact that he got the sound barrier. Now Luffy, just to cap off his achievements in first picks early on, now he's going to go for a Transcendence, paving the way for the Shanghai Dragons, who've already got 2.5 ticks of permanent progress. DM is down, but Luffy finds yet another. This guy just does not stop.
Atlanta is stabilizing here, though. As they use the nano boost on Baby, they build up another grab. They finally deal with Gamsu. They are a better scenario than the half.
It's insane that Baby gets another Graviton Surge in that one fight, by the way, but we digress. Gamsu, Bionic Grenade means healing's not going to be possible for him. He's going to have to bide his time behind the shield. Now that that expires, he will have a chance to go for an Earth Shatter should the Reign push up! Or maybe they just don't. Maybe they just didn't watch. Fair enough. They were all alive. And no one touched the point.
It happens. We've seen it a lot.
Yeah. The Rain will drop onto the point from the backside, so now the ball is thoroughly in the Dragons' court. And they drop down to contest. You see a lot of shield pressure going back and forth, and Ding will look to get some hacks while these two Zenyatas try and find an opening. Darko hacked on the high ground, so he can't do too much. You see he's sat there on the right-hand side. He'd prefer to be in the front line or on that high ground, and as soon as his hack is expired, he goes up to try and push Ding away.
Yeah, they've done a nice job pushing Ding out, making it hard, not allowing him to just farm Darko for that EMP, and that forces the Dragons to probably go when they would not have liked to there. Beautiful play here from the Atlanta Reign on offense. The shock of the Outlaws thinking the Sombra comes the way to go, and everybody says,
well, this is why it might be good,
This is why, I mean, well, here's going to be the Transcendence. Oh, as Popo just gets taken out. As I thought for a second you were going to be able to keep him alive. If you keep him alive, Atlanta may be able to fight that really strong. You have the sound barrier coming online, whatnot, but I mean, there's the power of having Sombra, right? I mean, the Sombra comp becomes very difficult to play against.
Ding now just trying to identify where he should start this fight from. Oh, he got hacked! Oh, stun, should I say. Now he goes for the hack. Excuse me. Lights out, though, for the Atlanta Reign. He's still able to get that EMP. There was no follow-up there on the shield bash. Ding must have just revealed himself for a brief moment.
But like now that you use EMP, and what happens? You have built Transcendence, you have built Grab, you have built Shatter off of it.
Team now was Atlanta recording inside a Graviton Surge. Massa has to play back right now. He's currently hacked. And Darko and Popo are split off from the rest of the team. The Dragons now need to make use of this, though. This Transcendence was supposed to let them get in and get aggressive and get reckless, but they took too long and they took their sweet time. And now it's a 2-for-1 trade favoring Atlanta. They lost Popo, but that often seems to happen in these fights. Erster's able to stand tall, and the EMP, man, it just comes a little bit late in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it comes as soon as Ding gets it, but it is not good enough as Atlanta able to take point B.
Once again, they're going to dare the Dragons to try and challenge them head-to-head. Gamsu completely ruined there. He got knocked back into the rest of the Reign, and this is just very, very good neutral trading for a 3-3 comp from Atlanta.
But what I think you're seeing Atlanta do is that, like, they're having, like, one player deal with the Sombra in the back line, and then they're just pushing everybody through. Not really a lot, no matrix that you could do there.
Ding was hoping to go for an EMP here. Look how low he is! He still managed to get that ultimate off somehow, but Dogman has the Transcendence to keep the Atlanta Reign healed up through this mess. Gamsu and Ding fell so close together now. The Shanghai Dragons, this has been abysmal as opposed to their previous defense here. The Atlanta Reign have figured it out. As soon as Ding is away, the Atlanta Reign will play. And look at that attempted charge there from Gamsu. He's knocked out of the way. He won't even have a chance to touch the point.
Nerf this.
The Atlanta Reign now look very smooth, as quick as he can, and so far so good. 3 players hit by that bionic grenade. Erster making it painful right now for the Shanghai Dragons, and they will try and get up on the high ground, but Shanghai have to ask themselves, is it really worth it now? We're down to 4 players. Yeah, they get caught in no man's land, and the Atlanta Reign just have them for breakfast. EMP to this part of the map. It's easy to break line of sight. An extremely long-range Graviton Surge here as Baby Bay actually turns around, so he's probably not headshot as easily. And I think Popo's going to get caught there. He got hacked, and finally the Dragons are able to, I'd say they brute forced this problem map, but they get there in the end. And here comes the Transcendence. It wasn't fast enough to keep Darko inside his mech, but it might help Popo and Co. find a kill here on Yongjin. Erster has to be careful. He's hacked. He couldn't use a Slink Dart to get rid of the Reinhardt. It was in his face, and Gamsu would not be denied. Eventually, he goes down, but the Atlanta Reign are struggling in terms of those kills. It's all Dragons, all red. And Shanghai kick themselves in this game. You know what? We're going to go and do it again. Just trying to keep my team healed up the old-fashioned way. That bionic grenade didn't look very good, and Popo didn't have any help on the high ground. Erster wasn't scoped in at the time. They lost their main tank.
Yeah, and he's not able to get that primal rage off, which he would have used to just keep himself alive up on the high ground. And they get Yongjin low. He's going to use Rally to keep himself alive.
Oh, he gets away.
Really kind of have to use that. This scenario is they do end up burning Rally, but it'll be Atlanta who backs out here, going to give up point A.
You get a Bionade from Erster before he gets hacked. Something like that would have been good. It doesn't connect, but this time Popo was able to get rid of Ding anyway. And Ding is denied a chance to get an EMP inside this fight. The Atlanta Reign go for the ideal target here. And DM might be over the edge. Yes, Popo knocks him off the map, and now Luffy's going to be held at the gates. Sound barrier here, but, well, Coma sound barriers in the woods and no one's there to hear it. Does he really at all? The Atlanta Reign hold off the Dragons on point B. Luffy did get hacked there, but Ding is free to get a lot of damage here onto the point. He's happy to get rid of Erster. Erster's been focused down so hard by Ding. not only on the Sombra, but now the Farah too. And that's that. The Atlanta Reign get cleaned off, and they are running out of time. And Ding's going to get given a nano boost here. Up high in the sky, and now he can play more aggressively because he's more durable, and he does just that. Erster gets yet another rocket dumped on top of him, and the Atlanta Reign are going to get bundled unceremoniously out of Volskaya here. The Shanghai Dragons, having already captured point A, are in position to win the map.
Knowing you look at the Dragons and they don't have a diva in the lineup, you think maybe you can take advantage of them with some different types of comps. And the Dragons just look at Atlanta. They know that they're not going to play something with a lot of damage dealers heavy. Nothing to deal with the damage dealers of the Shanghai Dragons. As they get a hold there on point A. They will take map number 2 to tie the series up.
Just very clever. Shanghai had the ace in the hole that entire time, and once they produced it, the Reign didn't have an answer. It's one apiece, we're tied. This is how you justify, obviously, having Ding in the starting roster constantly. If the Sombra play doesn't work out, if the gimmick sort of falls apart, then you have to have another answer. That's 4 with Dogman. Huge connection with that biotic grenade, and the Dragons, they kind of just had to shrug it off and keep pushing on. They were able to find Erster, though. Ding harassing from that high ground, and Dogman can't do too much about that right now. He's more focused on keeping these tanks alive.
As Pokpo is trying to contest the point, this will be 2 ticks here for the Dragons. Is Atlanta going to have to give this one up? Play close. Force ultimate's out, use the Primal Rage. Big shatter here from Gamsu, as you're going to have Ursa use his rally, but keeping nobody alive there. As, Gamsu does get knocked off the side by Pokpo. They reset though.
You gotta want to see Reinhardt here from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I think you'll see a switch potentially. And that Gamsu shatter. Dako will stay on Diva because you have the self-destruct here, but no shield. Walk up, hit the shatter. Not too difficult there from Gamsu.
I mean, there was a shield, it just wasn't big. Dako's gonna go in now for that self-destruct play. The Transcendence wouldn't have protected the Dragons, but DM knocked to the ground now. The Dragons look very good on this attacking side here. Popo and Dogman go down early, and the Reign just seem to be in disarray.
The Dragons know that though, so they just play completely off the side. That is a grab that gets absolutely nothing. The EMP good there though. The sound barrier comes down, but it's going to be Transcendence here for the Dragons to keep them topped up.
Yeah, lucky for the Dragons. The rest of their ultimates do actually come out and get them some value. It's just Masa now left on the payload. Behind them is a D-suited Darko. Looking very sad as he'd have no opportunity to help his team out. And that, as far as times go for Nambani, is ferociously fast. The Atlanta Reign transition to the point here after getting rid of Yongjin. And it's going to make it harder, I guess, for Shanghai to stand and fight here. Not only are they playing against a Reinhardt comp with Winston, but they don't have a Brigitte anymore. It was just a matter of time before they would fall apart here. Gamsu drops down, but there's no more healing for him. It all got spent on those early trades, and the Atlanta Reign make that look very clean. There won't be much of a chance in this fight to generate an EMP, and so that Sombra might not actually be a relevant factor until we're onto the last stage of this map at this rate, because the Atlanta Reign are not stopping for anybody. When he is already out in the open, he needs to be careful. The Atlanta Reign don't want to give him a chance to escape here, and already Luffy and Cobra have gone down. Yeah, there's going to be a Graviton surge, but the Transcendence and Sound Barrier kind of get laid over the top, so come on, Reign, calm down. That's generally something you want to avoid doing, but they win the fight convincingly. They're going to be running headlong now into an EMP and not...
See if Ding can make it back, as it's going to be Baby Bay locking some players in the right spawn door with that grab.
Yeah, this grab makes it impossible for the Dragons to have followed up on the EMP that Ding was surely going to bring into this fight, so sure enough, they get hacked. Baby Bay goes down. It's a 2-2 trade now. Both teams playing with 4, should I say. But Ding, I think his job is far from done. He's found Dogman, and that payload sits tantalizing close towards the end of the map, but not quite there. Have a rally at least though, and they're close to a Transcendence, so they push up here. Looks like Dogman and Erster both got knocked down. I think it was Erster knocked down, Dogman stunned up by a Brigitte after the fact, but Yongjin still removed. The EMP comes out here. Maybe it's a little bit late in the day, go, because Gamsu didn't help so badly, and it wasn't an EMP that it required. And it will be Atlanta getting home. They were probably close to reaching record time for attacks on this map. Who had the Primal Rage though there, and DM, despite having a bubble, wasn't able to keep himself in a position that he wanted to be in. DM actually sat teetering on the edge of the map before finally falling down for a long time. It's a long stagger, a long time before the Zaya is going to return to the fight, but maybe they won't need it. No, the Shanghai Dragons are able to get it done with Gamsu and Ding primarily. The Diva play from him looked very good in the late stages of that fight, and again, we see a sick biotic grenade from Dogman, but there's no follow-up because Atlanta already dropped to the low ground.
Let Popo change.
This Gamsu, by the way.
Let's see the Gamsu shatter. Right around the corner here. Oh, next to 3 players. Pretty big. You get Dogman there and Masa.
It's Gumsu's shadow that is probably where you want to be looking. Popo's going to have one himself pretty soon. There, Youngjin looked like he was a little bit too deep for a moment, but managed to get out. Koma, though, was not so lucky. Earth Shadow attempt from Gumsu, but only Erster was hit by Popo's hack for the time being, but it's too late. The hack had to come earlier where Gumsu had the shadow. Now things are looking dicey for the Dragons.
Yeah, you know you can play aggressive here if you're Atlanta, because no way Ding is close to an EMP. DM uses a grab there towards the end.
It's by Darko.
Gets nothing as it goes into Dako's matrix. So
again, Atlanta's starting to run out of options of time. And where does Popo send his Graviton Surge? He has to wait for the Dragons to commit, and he has to hope that it won't get eaten from over his left shoulder. DM's able to get his grab off first, but no one was caught in that either, so very odd start to this fight. Ding desuited now. Baby Bay, yes, they managed to chase down the desuited Demon, so this is where he starts to think about using that Graviton Surge in earnest now. Transcendence from Koma, but everyone's going to get caught together. Even the sound barrier used everything coming out for the Shanghai Dragons, but it still won't be enough. Losing the Diva when they did, and Atlanta had saved key ultimates. Now the Shanghai Dragons start to stress a bit more.
You know, he's only about 50% of the way there towards that EMP.
Goes to Hacked again. He's getting pretty used to that this series. Famasa has a sound barrier. They found Koma, though. This has got to be the floodgates opening. The Dragons give us a bit of Shanghai action to finish off the round. The Atlanta Reign take the 3rd map of the series, make it 2 for them, and set themselves up to end the series come map 4.
He's just overwhelmed with so many ultimates to pressure them off of the point where you'll see it down towards the bottom right of your screen. They just kind of get pushed all the way off. They try and go in for the kill on a Popo, the Transcendence comes through, and you see, I mean, they just have to back up.
Yeah, it's that Earth Shadow that pretty much zones them and lines them up there. Russell Immortality filled there. It took eyes off Baby Bay for long enough for him to get a little bit of healing, but the Atlanta Reign don't really seem to have the staying power, and the Shanghai Dragons are relentless.
You know, I was talking with the analyst back. There's not a downside to taking the fight on the card.
Who's going to help Popo here? He might be in a bit of trouble, especially with an Orb of Discord Omen and Erster having his immortality field taken away. Popo now again is going to get completely crushed. It was the EMP, of course, that connected, and really there was no way anyone was going to escape that one. Dogman trying to evade DM as long as he could, eventually gets caught by the swing of Gumsu's hammer. And the Atlanta Reign unable to come up with anything on this defensive attempt either.
The hack comes from the low ground to the high.
He just walks up and hacks Darko. And guess what? Darko can't eat the grab that was going to be forthcoming. Very clever, very cute. Lovely knockdown, but there it is. 5 players knocked down by the Earth Shatter. It had to be a sound barrier from the Atlanta Reign to even keep themselves in a fight. And it looks like that in itself may have been enough. Very fortunate that support ultimate was available, because that Shatter looked like a crushing one. Otherwise, you're wasting a little bit too much time. So Gamsu gets into the back line. Somehow they get Popo out of the picture here, but the Graviton Surge is still there. Popo returns with a flourish, and Youngjin splattered on the wall. And he needs, but Baby Bay is discorded at 1 health. He's sitting in the back corner. He goes down. Ding's finally managed to get him. Darko desuited now, so effectively the Reign are down 2 players. Let's make it 3 with Popo eventually being brought down. And that will be the Atlanta Reign having to give up the 2nd checkpoint now, Matt. One way or another, they had to do it.
Line of sight here, the break potentially the EMPs. They're going to be able to get the sound barrier off.
Well, they get the sound barrier. Ursa's able to turn around and get rid of Ding. DM gets his grab eaten by Darko for the 2nd time this series, if I'm not mistaken, and Darko gets 2. And that should be enough. Gumsu now is going to get knocked off. The Discord Orb was there. They will probably stagger Luffy a little bit here as he had his rally armor, which just ended up prolonging his demise at the end of the day.
Yeah, that comes up with it. The eat on the grab of DM, and then the self-destruct kills. There goes Ding. Don't have that Sombrean. It looks like the Dragons will be as far as they move the cart.
Yeah. Well, 2 teams that have only 1 gear. It's going forwards and fast. The Atlanta Reign are able to slow down the Shanghai Dragons enough to keep them out of that last part of the map along towards that first Transcendence. And Baby Bay constantly being harassed. Ding now. His hack doesn't connect and Gumsu gets removed. Yep. This is the Atlanta Reign going aggressive when they know that Ding is futzing around behind their lines.
And what they
need to get the Dragons to come forward aggressively here. Ding! Whoa, Ding actually got knocked down there. Popo hit the Shadow and got the enemy Sombra while they were invisible. I don't think you realize that, and Ding is actually able to escape in the end, but they get Gumsu. Now the Dragons, do they bother investing? The EMP went out there, Reinhardt? Well, no way they're going to do it now. That was insane from Popo.
And this fight's huge.
Still going to get aggressive though. Gumsu went for an Earth Shadow. Looks like Erster was the only one that was actually knocked down by that one. Sound barrier here for most of the Shanghai Dragons, but the Atlanta Reign are going to continue pushing forward now with that Transcendence. Note Luffy at the bottom of your screen here. He's not been noticed yet. but all he can do is walk out onto the payload and get taken down.
DM grab, less Dako could come up with an E.
That's clever. Baby Bay goes for an early graviton surge here. Popo gets grabbed as well, but he's close enough to get damage on the front line. And the Dragon, it doesn't seem to matter though. Baby Bay took a lot of damage early. He's down, and now the Rain know. Next fight, they're walking into an EMP, and they still won't have support ultimates. They're thinking about an EMP though, a lot. 3 players caught by that one, and Popo got blown up straight away. Atlanta do not invest any ultimates, which is good for them, but nor does Shanghai. Well, not at all. 13 seconds, Ding. Close to another EMP, and why not just drop one in? Look at the patience. He is waiting because Dogman is currently inside of Transcendence. Still a little bit of healing available for the Rain, but then 4 players got hacked by that EMP. Erster down. Master desperately has to just go to the payload, and with the Dragons with a sound barrier, it's impossible for them to lose this fight. There's not going to be any cheekiness. Master's stuck onto the payload though. He's pushing it, but it looks like the Dragons are aware of that. They do know. Double back and they deal with him, and that was it really for the Rain. No other options. Erster trying to get there. He at least gets a pile driver onto the payload, but gets blown up awfully fast, and there it is. We've got ourselves a map 5. The Shanghai Dragons strike back here on Havana, and we are going to get maximum Overwatch for today. There is no doubt about it. It's one of those ones that we're going to remember. Well, Dogman hacked early on here. That's kind of rough because it doesn't really give Atlanta the ability to choose where they're discording so much. They kind of just had to deal with where the orb was. 1-for-1 trade though early. Darko desuited. What do they get out of Darko's aggressiveness? Nothing really. And no, the Dragons are able to wipe them off now. And yeah, like you said, Matt, the Dragons haven't won this map before, but
it could be a tough point here for Atlanta.
Buster got hacked. Youngjin getting an Inspire proc, but also his rally available with that whip shot. He's going to use it immediately here. This might have been over-aggression though from the Shanghai Dragons.
It's a huge kill from Erster on the Ding. I mean, Ding's alive right now. He's got that EMP. So the Erster using his rally now, getting aggressive, and Dako with another eat of a grab there.
3. Transcendence now for the Atlanta Rain, and they've done everything right in this fight, Matt. From getting rid of the Sombra early to punishing an aggressive Reinhardt in Gamsu to eating a grab. Perfect stuff for the Atlanta Rain. Yeah. Pushes up. Oh, nicely done, Popo. He went for an Earth Shatter. He got interrupted by the enemy Brigitta of Youngjin, and now Gamsu is able to turn it around. Suffice to say, his Earth Shatter actually connected, and in a big way. The Atlanta Rain, though, get themselves at 74%.
He just gets burned down. We're already at 94%. Looks like Popo's just trying to charge in, get a touch on the point, get hacked on the way there. To be the Dragons who take our first point here.
Oh, Matt. Atlanta have had a rough run in map 5 as well.
They're going to use the nano boost onto the Mei here, so Erster going to use that effect to try and get anybody, but Gamsu uses Primal Rage, lives on through it. They were trying to freeze him down.
Not working.
No, this has not worked for Atlanta thus far.
Case normally. DM, no way he's getting away from this one. Nice ice wall placed up by Erster there, and Darko can return to the point.
Good stall though here from the Dragon.
Coma caught there. Oh! Interrupted! And there it is. Darko over the edge. Gamsu appears at just the right time. The Dragons are still in control of this point now, and Atlanta are actually going to lose this fight. That's a disastrous result.
You can just double back, pick him up off the point.
Early grab here. This is going to keep the Rain off the point. They might not have a chance to touch it at all here. Dogman is able to get clear. Popo is able to walk out. He had that fortify. Going to set himself up on the point now, but dealing with both Coma and Gamsu, there is really not a lot he can do about it at all. Luffy eventually going to find the kill on the Shanghai Dragons in map 5. They triumph over the Atlanta Rain, and Baby Bay's head in his hands. He knows they had ample opportunity to take this series away, and now that tentative position they kept at mid-table may be beyond them.
And this is tough for Atlanta. I mean, the Dragons squeak away with a win here today. They did not look that good against the Atlanta Rain. The Atlanta Rain played another top team, very close, but still another loss. I would almost play the match presented by Omen by HP. It is Ding. So he gave it in today. He was fantastic on the Sombra.
Look,
very good on the Forest.
We have done this before. The Farah looked very good. He really had eyes for Erster for a lot of this match in general. I think he identified how important getting rid of that enemy Brigitta was. His Farah is always going to be seen as one of the best at that one. He played a lot of Sombra. So as a result, we see the highs and lows, I think, of his Sombra performance. But overall, it's fantastic.
Eventually, this team is going to need to play D.Va, though. I mean, when you saw him play D.Va, especially in a map like Nibani, it did not look good. I see a Sombra.
Right, we didn't
this
see
game.
much of it, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see a lot of it, but when we saw it, it was real quick. As he had 144 enemies hacked, you get 48 limbs off of that. I mean, pretty good stuff there for Dick.